So I know that I scheduled this live to be at 9:45 because I was like actively on my way home. I just left my family's house, and I had a couple drinks or whatever, but not to the point where I'm like wasted. Um, so I'm driving and I'm getting downloads, of course, and I just felt the need to get on live and speak to you guys about my most recent experience. um, Collectively we are on this spiritual journey, and even me at being a somewhat of like a mentor, a guide, a teacher, um, in this community, even I am still going through a lot of rebirth, transformations, ego deaths. Like I am still actively on this journey. And what I've come to realize is that, and this might resonate for like majority of the collective really, but a lot of my spiritual growth and the awakenings that I've been through have been um, tailored to the relationships that I've been in, to the romantic partners that I've had, and family too, friends, co-workers. Yes, like when I think of the saying like exes, I kind of categorize everyone into that situation. Like anybody who at one point was a relevant factor in my life, in my journey, but is no longer, you're considered an ex to me. And for a long time, like it was okay for me to like sit in this like victim mentality and say that everybody who is not in my life right now, that they hurt me, that they did something to karmically eject themselves out of my life. And I've come to realize that a lot of those situations, I was not taking accountability. And not only was I not taking accountability, I was hindering myself from experiencing, hi, Catherine. I was hindering myself from experiencing real, genuine connections and love. Hi, Felipe. In love, outside of those connections I had already experienced, because usually 9 times out of 10, when God takes something from you, he replaces it with something better, or something that would be of benefit to you on your journey, whether that's in the form of something that you deem as good or bad. um but what Anyway, I just wanted to get on here and tell you guys, like, try not to hold on to the past. Like, the past will hold you back from experiencing the love and just joy that God has in store for you. And sometimes the very thing that we've been praying for and asking for is right in our face and we don't even know it. Like it's the very thing that is like right in front of you. You cannot see it because you're so bogged down by all of this ego, all of this pride, this victim mentality, and sometimes we get comfortable in that. Um we get comfortable in being in that vulnerability and that victimhood to the point where that we don't realize when we've graduated out of that. We don't realize when we've grown out of that. We don't realize that those things no longer serve us. And for me, it was like, okay, I'll forgive, but I'm not going to forget what I went through or what that person did to me. But it's like, okay, latching onto the memory of what they did is almost just as bad as not forgiving them, because now you're holding on to the memory because you haven't forgiven yourself for what happened either. And that person, they could be very well living on, moving on, moved on with their life and everything, but because you won't let go of the memory of that past and the pain that you went through, you're living your life, you're moving forward, but you're treading carefully in certain aspects of your life that needs you to be open, that requires you to be vulnerable, that requires you to be your authentic self. And it's very hard to do that because the last time that you were your authentic self, the last time that you were vulnerable, you got hurt, right? So it's that memory that you say, okay, I forgive you, but I won't forget. you know we block out the shit that needs to come to the surface, and then we hold on to the shit that we don't need. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of flipped, it's kind of backwards, and I've been realizing that about myself, you know, like not only do I need to realize where I went wrong in the situation and how I could have done things better, but also realize when I'm holding on to something because I'm comfortable being a victim, I'm comfortable in that pain. You know, sometimes you get into this cycle and this rhythm and this flow of going through backstab, betrayal after betrayal after betrayal, to the point where you get used to it, where it becomes a comfort zone for you. And that's not okay. Not only do you need to forgive others, but you need to forgive yourself. And when you forgive yourself, that's when you can let go of the memories of that. Like, you know, and I think of um I love the Little Mermaid. I still do. Grown as hell now, but I still love the Little Mermaid, because there's a part in the Little Mermaid um where they say like water collects memories, right? Water collects memories, and we are made up of 75% of water, and we are ruled by the moon as well. And I think that through crying, through purging, you know, because I think crying is very healing as well. Like when something comes to the surface like that, you should just let it go, let it flow, because that healing energy is going to impact you in a way that you couldn't imagine. You know, like plant tears water the seeds that you have planted. Tears water the prayers that you have put out to the universe and things like that. Which is something that I'm also learning on my journey, because I came from a person who did not like to cry. Like, I thought crying was a weakness. Like, I thought that if anybody saw me cry, that they would attack me, that they would hurt me, or that they wouldn't see me as strong and dependable and shit like that. But really, letting go of those tears and allowing people to see your vulnerability and see your truth is a strength in itself. It's a strength in itself. And this past year, I have been doing that. I have been allowing people to see the darkness within me. I have been allowing people to see, like, okay, it is not always peaches and cream. It is not always laughs and giggles. You know, I'm going through something really tough right now. And is when I started opening up, and I've even cried in front of a few people who I trust and love. And that in itself has been so freeing, because I'm allowing the people that God has sent to be genuine guides, you know, to me, to see me in a way that I was afraid to reveal in the past. Like, I have been in situations and I've dealt with people, friendships and stuff, where the minute I showed my true colors, the minute I was my authentic self, it was used against me, um, in the worst way. And that in itself, being done repeatedly, put me in this mindset that everyone and everything was against me, and that I had to be so in control of my life, to the point where I didn't allow love, guidance, knowledge, anything outside of my control. I didn't allow it in, you know? Hey, Malaysia. Um, and I didn't realize how that was keeping me so stagnant. It was keeping me so stuck on this journey. Like, I felt like I had hit a complete plateau. Like, my external environment was improving, but my internal environment was the same. Like, and I knew it because I've traveled a lot. Like, I've moved away from my childhood home because there was a lot of trauma and pain there that I ran from. Like, I didn't want to address. And I knew that I was holding on to something deeper than the surface because I refused to go home. Like, at one point, I was scared to go home, because that meant me facing my past. That meant me facing the very people, places, and things that put me in this dark place that I was constantly running from. You know, so last night, like literally this whole week, really, this whole week, and I kind of felt it coming. Like, the last time I gave you guys a zodiac reading, I knew then that something was coming, right? So that's why I said, like, I don't know when I'm gonna be back on here, y'all. Like, but I want to just put these out here to make up for the time that I might be gone. Um, because I knew that there was an ego death coming. I knew that there was a stripping on the way. Like, you know when you get ready to do shadow work. Like, you know when that shadow is like tapping on your shoulder and like, all right, girl, it's time to sit down and we gonna talk about this, okay? And that's what it felt like for me leading up to this point, where I completely broke down and I faced my inner child who was basically saying like, girl, let me go, let me be free. Like, you have been holding me captive most of your life because you think that you're protecting me, but you're hurting me by keeping me wrapped up so tight, but not by not exposing your truth, by not speaking your truth, by not living in your truth. You know, I most of my life I have been so focused on like uplifting others, and even what I do now with the tarot and stuff like that, I gravitated towards this because it meant that it was less focused on what I needed to do and more focused on healing others and more focused on helping others, which is something that I'm passionate about. But I keep going in and out of these seasons of showing up and leaving, showing up and leaving, going MIA on my channel and stuff like that because I have not addressed the things within me. Externally on this spiritual journey, I have done a lot of work. I've done a lot of work, okay? I've come far, right? But internally, like where that inner child is, I was still holding on to a lot of abandonment issues and a lot of issues that stem from previous relationships um, that I did not want to address, you know? So this past week has been God sitting me down to look at these wounds that were left wide open. They were never like nurtured. They were never loved on. They were never treated. You know, they were never bandaged up. These were open wounds that were sitting within my being that I never faced, I never addressed. You know, it's so easy to give guidance to others, but it's so hard to give that guidance to yourself and give yourself the same grace. And I had to realize I was not giving myself grace at all. And I felt like I needed to work that much harder to prove that I had healed from certain things, when in reality, I was just becoming my own little monster. Like, I was becoming like a beast at this point, which externally was good because I'm focused and I'm diligent about my goals and I'm manifesting and I'm praying and things are happening like this. Like, externally, I've mastered manifestation, I've mastered balance, I've mastered grounding my energy. But internally is where my focus is now. You know, working on deeply on my heart chakra, deeply on my root chakra. And really, your root chakra is like the hardest chakra to crack. Like, it's like the hardest one to crack because that is where your authenticity lies. Like, you have to really be stripped down, you know, for that to be in a healthy position, you know. So that's where I am right now on my journey, and I'm proud of myself for having the courage to face these fears and certain things within me that were never addressed, you know. And I do plan on like doing something that would definitely highlight some of the things that I've been through so you guys can have a better understanding of why I am where I am on my journey. Like, I want to do something from start to finish, like that explains the journey. Like, and it's my personal journey, but I feel like there are so many people who may resonate with my personal journey and may need my voice, you know. So eventually I'm gonna do that. But I just came on here to encourage you guys, like, if there is a past relationship, friendship, it could be a coworker, a job that didn't work out, you lost a house, whatever it is that you felt like you lost or was scarred from, please let it go in love. Like, let it go in knowing that everything leading up to today, you know, the very breath in your body right now as you are on this live, was predestined and it was destined to put you in a position to be a better version of you. So there is no point in holding on to the things of the past because everything, every heartbreak, every sorrow, was predestined. It was predestined, just period. And the more I go through these contracts, I realize that, because it's like when you repeat something over and over again, maybe through different people, but the same experience through different people, you start to realize that this shit is so simulated to the point where you get to step outside of yourself and you're like, yeah, this was supposed to happen like that, or that was supposed to happen like that, or I met this person for a reason. Okay, this is not going to last this long. Like, you get to kind of gauge where you are on your journey, and then you like are in tune with God, and you know that X, Y, and Z is happening for my own good at the end of the day. And when you get to that point, it is a lot easier to release what doesn't serve you, you know? And then you can walk with a lighter heart. You can walk with a peace of mind, knowing that you did all that you could do in that situation, that you didn't make a mistake. You know, there are no mistakes on this journey. There are no mistakes on this journey. It's just you live life and you learn lessons and you level up and you learn another lesson. You face another beast. You address it, you level up, you face another beast. Like, that's really what this journey is. But there's no losses, it's just lessons at the end of the day. So I encourage you guys not to be so hard on yourself. Give yourself grace. Allow yourself to be seen, even if you feel like you're going to fucking humiliate yourself. Allow yourself to be seen. Do whatever you need to do to free yourself of captivity within your own mind and your heart space, because that's really where your truth lies. Like, that's really where your truth lies. That's really where your authentic self, that's where your inner child lies. Your inner child knows you better than you know yourself. And that's just the God's honest truth. Like, children, they come into this world knowing exactly who they are before any of the world's projections are placed on them. And when you are able to get to the root of that, you have truly mastered this journey. You have truly mastered this game of freaking life. And at that point, time is no longer a construct. Time is no longer what is controlling you, what is manipulating your decisions anymore. Because now you're just in flow. Time wasn't a factor when we were children, if you think about it, right? We were always told what time it was, but time wasn't a factor. We didn't give a damn what time it was, you know? And I just find that is so far from where I am now, like as an adult, and it's like time is everything. But it's like, why am I making it everything if I know that God got me? If I know that every prayer that I've prayed for has been answered? Like, if I know that what's for me will be for me, regardless of whether it's in the here and now or 10 years down the line, it doesn't matter. The timing of when God answers your prayer, it does not freaking matter. And that is something that I am learning right now. Like, stop trying to control the timing. He didn't say that you would never get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but let go of the timing around it. Yes, it's his time, not ours. You know? So I don't know. This was very random. I think I might start doing these more often, because I typically like plan my lives, and they're usually tailored towards doing readings for people and stuff like that. But I think I'm ready to just speak and be vulnerable about my journey. And who knows, like, that might be more inspiring and impactful than just showing up and doing a reading, because and I try my best, like, during the readings to kind of incorporate these little life lessons and analogies and stuff like that. But I don't think it's as impactful as like connecting with someone on a real level, like a spiritual level where you know that you're not alone, you know? Exactly. Exactly. So I'm learning, I'm trying to master that, you know, and I am more aware of the different aspects in my astrological chart. And the big thing for me is that I'm a Leo rising. Um, and I feel like I constantly have to almost like put on a performance, not a performance, but I feel like I have to show up as my best self all the time. You know, like I have to be the strong one. And that's not the truth. That is so far from the truth. Like I am a very strong individual, but it's a lot of times where I'm just as freaking human as anybody else, and I'm going through these little mental breakdowns, and I'm navigating through my emotions, and sometimes begging and pleading God to deliver me from some of the negative energy that I may be taking on. Like, it's love and light in this journey, but it's also darkness. It's also shadow. It's also facing that darkness within you, you know, that makes up this beautiful masterpiece, you know, that beautiful masterpiece that is you. You know, I call it beautiful chaos. It's beautiful chaos in one being, and it is so reflective of God, of the universe, of his creation, and it's to be treated with care. You know, it's to be treated with care. It's we need to be more gentle with ourselves and start remembering that we're just children. We're God's children at the end of the day, and that's how God views us, as children. You know, but if we were to view ourselves, you know, the God within us that I am, you know, when we make a mistake, when we think we're wrong, when we think we messed up, remember that you're just a child navigating this life in an adult body, you know? So that's how I'm choosing to move forward in this life. Like, recognizing that I don't need to have it all figured out. And I don't need to rush my journey. I don't need to rush my healing. You know, I don't need to grow up fast. This world will make you, force you to grow up fast. And you think once you turn 18, you're an adult. And that's where no, I'm still growing the fuck up. I am still actively growing the fuck up, okay? And that's not going to end until the day that I leave this existence. I'm still growing the fuck up. Shit, listen. Listen, okay? But this is how I'm going to give myself grace moving forward, okay? So I'm going to leave this message here, y'all. Um, I hope it wasn't all over the place. I was kind of channeling a little bit too. But I love you guys. I might come back on here before the night is over. I don't know. We'll see. Or I might just rest. Who knows? I still gotta give you guys the zodiac readings. Okay, just know this, because I'm tired of saying I'm gonna do something and then I can't do it. But I definitely want to keep doing the weekly readings. So what you guys can expect is your zodiac read for the week, the upcoming week. If I don't get to love, then I just don't get to love. You might have to catch it in a personal or catch it in your weekly reading. But this is a part of me trying to be more consistent with my channel, even if it's just getting on and doing a random live. Like, so what? Who cares? So yeah, that's what you guys can expect. I am aiming to do love readings because I know that's what people like. But my main goal right now is to stay consistent with the weekly updates. So you guys can look forward to that. I love you so much. Thank you, Beatrice. I really appreciate that. And I'll see you guys when I see you. You know, if you're new, go ahead and subscribe, like this video for me. I would really appreciate it. I know y'all can't really see me. I'm in the dark. But we talking about shadows anyway, so who cares? I love you guys. I'm gonna, I think, get some well-deserved sleep tonight and just relax. So I hope you guys are doing the same. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Stay prayed up, stay kind, stay beautiful, and I will see you guys later. Peace out, y'all.